Prince Andrew, who faces charges of sexual abuse, has been stripped of his royal duties by Queen Elizabeth. It's an unprecedented case of an adult stripping Prince Andrew. This is maybe the most ominous thing you could possibly tweet when you're president, except what he tweeted just an hour ago, which was, "Something very big has just happened," with no further explanation, which with Trump could either mean we just invaded Mexico or the McRib is back.
I like this a lot.
And plans for a 3-year-long around-the-world cruise were canceled after organizers could not find a ship for the voyage. Guys, call me. Qantas has announced plans for a new direct flight from New York to Australia that will take 19 hours. Not to be outdone, Spirit Airlines announced a new flight from New York to Philadelphia that will also take 19 hours. On Thursday, Trump went to the White House and showed us how brave he is by meeting face-to-face with the man who founded ISIS. Introduced a bill to rename Washington, D.C.'s Dulles Airport after Donald Trump. Because airports are a lot like Trump, a chaotic nightmare that turns you against your own family. Speech Hillary Clinton was giving Thursday in Las Vegas, a female protester threw a shoe at her, and it's amazing police were able to identify the culprit considering how many ladies in Vegas are walking around with one shoe on. After Trump was photographed with some strange red marks on his hand, some dermatologists speculated it could be something called hand herpes. "What the hell is hand herpes?" said Tim Scott.
The Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show has selected a miniature poodle named Sage as the winner of the title Best in Show, while the loser is once again every human participating in this event. A new report claims that recent stories on the Sports Illustrated website were actually generated by AI, and it's already making delirious mistakes. For instance, it made up something called the WNBA. Or should I say littlest? Oh, your war with Drake may be over, but your war with Michael Che is just beginning. So to quote Hamilton, shoot your shot, player. This year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will feature several exciting new balloons, including star of The Mandalorian, Grogu, a.k.a. Baby Yoda. Here to comment is Baby Yoda.
Yeah, boy, is back. What up, New York City?
Woman marched with King. MJ the Musical, about the life of Michael Jackson, has become one of the highest-grossing shows on Broadway. And my review of the acting is the same as my opinion of MJ's trial. Michael is amazing, but the kids are not believable at all. An upcoming TV special starring actor James Van Der Beek will attempt to raise awareness about prostate cancer testing. It's called Dawson's Crack. A new report shows that for the first time, the majority of billionaires last year received their fortunes through family inheritance. And not to brag, but I inherited my family's learning disabilities.
This week, the U.S. experienced the longest partial lunar eclipse in nearly 600 years. Scientists say the eclipse began when Yo Mama got on the trampoline. Saturday and Sunday. Back then, if you didn't want to keep your baby, your only option was to give it to Rumpelstiltskin. President Biden criticized the abortion of terrorist attacks released by the White House this week was riddled with spelling errors. Or there's been a huge increase in radical Icelandic terrorism. Workers at the Amazon warehouse in Staten Island voted to become the first Amazon workers in the country to form a union. Yeah, the union explains Amazon's new slogan, "It'd be a real shame if something happened to your package."
I'm Jimmy Fallon. The Bay has here tonight's top stories. Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon arrived in Washington Sunday night to give President Bush a 91-page book proving that Yasser Arafat funded terrorists. White House sources say President Bush has the book and is almost done coloring it.
A scientist for the Wildlife Conservation Society is the first person to ever discover homosexual behavior in wild orangutans. When asked exactly how he discovered the homosexual behavior, the scientist got really quiet.
MSNBC reporter Ashley Banfield, now in Pakistan covering events there, has cut her hair short and dyed it brown in order to go unnoticed in the male-dominated country. Take it from me, Ashley. If you think having brown hair and glasses will keep men from noticing you, you are right.
This week, Reverend Jesse Jackson called for a nationwide Halloween boycott, saying that instead of trick-or-treating, we should spend the night with our families. No word yet on which of his families Jackson was referring to.
2 days before Britney Spears' HBO concert from Las Vegas, someone broke into her dressing room and stole the white Elvis-inspired rhinestone jumpsuit that she wore to promote the event. And you know what? I'm not giving it back. Keep it now. It's mine.
Friends star Jennifer Aniston suffered minor injuries after getting into a car accident in Hollywood. The other driver had his car totaled, but on the upside, he gets to tell his friends he rear-ended Jennifer Aniston. Oh, snap. 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 Oh, snap.
This week, Chelsea Clinton was spotted at a Donatella Versace party dancing provocatively with her boyfriend, Ian Klaus. Not to be outdone, the Bush daughters have set up a meth lab.
Stevie Wonder is being sued for over $40 million by an ex-girlfriend who claims the singer agreed to support her after he gave her genital herpes. In response, Stevie said, "I've never seen that woman before in my life."
A 32-year-old Filipino farmer sliced his genitals off with a machete in a fit of religious fervor because he believed his penis was leading him to sin. In a follow-up to this story, he was right, and it worked.
Makers of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone say they had to hire a voice double for the movie's star, Daniel Radcliffe, after his voice began to change during filming. This explains the title of the sequel, Harry Potter and His Astonishing Pubic Hair.
This week, President Bush was quoted as saying, "Not over my dead body will they raise your taxes," which reminded many of when his father said, "Read my lips, no new taxes," which at the time reminded everyone of when his father said, "Say, taxes are bad, see?" which reminded people of when his great-grandfather said, "Observe my masticator, I shall abide no new tariffs." Of course, all of these are just derivative of when George Bush dinosaur said,
In a small town in Germany this week, a man who was so drunk he couldn't walk was stopped by police after borrowing his father's electric wheelchair to go buy more liquor. He may be under arrest, but he still gets our Winners Never Quit award.
Geraldo Rivera will leave his CNBC talk show to go to Afghanistan as a war correspondent for Fox News, which raises an interesting ethical question. Do we have to act sad if Geraldo dies?
This week, a professional clown from Saugerties, New York. Guys, way early on that one. I'm telling you, we got to rehearse this, all right? Wait for the punchline, okay? God. I mean, the punchline is he got hit in the face with a pie. So, I wasn't saying the punchline. I was doing the... You know what? Let's just start over, okay? Let's start right over. Okay, this week, there's a man in Saugerties, New York. Forget it. Back to you, Peter. Forget it.
A London newspaper is reporting that Sean Puffy Combs has hired a proper English butler named Farnsworth. So far, it's working out great, except that every time Puffy comes home, the butler instinctively calls the police.
A new study shows that the Dead Sea is dropping at a rate of 2.5 inches a year. Also dropping at a rate of 2.5 inches a year, Martin Landau's testicles.
The Victoria's Secret fashion show was televised Thursday night on ABC. The fashion show featured the Heavenly Star bra, which cost $2.5 million, with matching diamond-encrusted thong panties for $750,000. Thanks, Victoria's Secret, but the only way I'm putting $750,000 worth of diamonds in my ass is if the Nazis are coming.
On Thursday, Rhode Island Senate unanimously passed the bill to issue license plates honoring the 50th birthday of Mr. Potato Head. Then on Friday, Rhode Island State unanimously passed a bill prohibiting them from passing bills when everyone is drunk. Unanimously.
Unanimously.
Thank you.
Attorney General John Ashcroft issued a terrorism warning asking all Americans to be on high alert this week. I think I speak for all Americans when I say, bitch, I can't be any more alert. I'm opening my mail with salad tongs. I take my passport in the shower with me. Right? I'm watching so much CNN, I'm having sex dreams about Wolf Blitzer. How about you be on full alert? I'm going to freeze my head like Walt Disney, and then you can wake me up when everything's cool, okay?
Snoop Dogg is predicting that GM stock will go up with the introduction of his limited edition Snoop DeVille sedan. Especially since it was named Best New Citizen of the Yism by Sizzin' and Drizzin' Magazine.
According to statistics released by the American Society of Plastic Surgery, last year surgeons performed over 389,000 nose jobs, 133,000 facelifts, and 212,000 breast augmentations. And it still doesn't look right.
You did.
You did it.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Uh-oh. I think the robot Tina broke down. Maintenance? Chris? I think the battery went. Can we get another robot Tina? Thanks.
Dick Cheney appeared at his birthday party Wednesday with a bruised lip after one of his dogs bumped into his mouth while playing. What is up with this administration? Cheney's got a bruised lip. Bush has a huge scrape on his face. Ashcroft has burn marks all over him. But tell the truth. Do you guys have a fight club? I think there's a White House Fight Club.
Tina, you know the first rule of White House Fight Club.
I know. Don't talk about White House Fight Club.
Hoping to get people to start going to museums again, New York City has announced a new ad campaign called I Love New York Culture. But if they want me to start going to museums again, they should call the campaign Sorry We Yelled at You for Touching Stuff, Jimmy Fallon.
In women's health news, the FDA announced that it has approved NuvaRing, a new highly effective birth control device for women. NuvaRing is 2 inches long and releases a continuous low dose of estrogen, just like Michael Jackson's penis.
Kiss for luck, little Jimmy Fallon.
Maggie Smith should shave. Does this mean I'm knighted? Or did I just get queened? No?
Police in India have arrested a man for threatening to kill a tiger he believes is his lover from a past life. Well, at least he only wants to kill it.
It was revealed in a London tabloid last week that Donald Trump has plans to buy a parachute in case he ever has to jump out of one of his buildings. Either that or he plans to grab his comb over and Mary Poppins his way down the 80th floor.
Earlier this week, the LA Police Department searched the home of Paul Rubens, better known as Pee Wee Herman, and confiscated his collection of vintage erotica. So let me understand this. Now Pee Wee Herman can't even masturbate in his own house? Where would America be comfortable with Pee Wee masturbating? Do you want him to go to a sterile room in a hospital or like the space shuttle? Or should he buy a mobile home and bury it under the ground?
Earlier this week, a man shot himself while inside St. Patrick's Cathedral. When asked to comment, church spokesman Father Robertson said, "Girl, it's a scandal."
Just tell us and we'll pass the information on to him, because if there's one thing I've learned from working with all of these guys, he's not going to stop doing it. Right? They do it, right? It's true. Men masturbate all the time. Right, Jimmy? Back to you.
Rarely, if ever. According to FBI documents, O.J. Simpson has allegedly been letting a drug dealer stay in his guest house and drive his children to school. In his defense, O.J. points out that if the drug dealer didn't drive the kids to school, they'd have to ride with the murderer.
You're surprised that dude's a murderer? Researchers have been able to teach sparrows how to differentiate one language from another. Experts say this is a giant step towards their goal of teaching birds racism.
Experts say that satellite images show that part of central London are sinking up to 5 millimeters a year. Also sinking up to 5 millimeters a year? Martin Landau's testicles. The Weekend Update, I'm Jimmy Fallon.
I'm Tina Fey. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
The White House has introduced a new plan to put nutrition labels on the front instead of the back. So to give you an idea of the overall health of Americans, we're too lazy to do this.
It's a lot. It's a lot. After trying for several years, the New York City Commission voted to remove a statue of Thomas Jefferson from City Hall. They were finally able to remove it by telling the statue there was a hot black lady outside.
Well,
Residents in Rome are upset after a wild boar and her 6 piglets were killed on a playground near the Vatican. But it's like they say, nothing good ever happens on a playground near the Vatican. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
This week there was a full moon known as the Beaver Moon, which can be seen about a month after a waxing moon.
That's a good joke. That's a good joke. Starbucks has launched a new eco-friendly program called Borrow a Cup, in which customers return their cup after finishing their drink so the store can use it again. And Dunkin' Donuts plans to compete with this promotion by not doing that.
The house where Lizzie Borden murdered her parents has been sold for $2 million and will be turned into a bed and breakfast. Though a bed and breakfast where a murder happened is pretty much just a day's in.
Virginia has become the first state in the South to abolish the death penalty. So if you'll excuse me, I've got some white women to whistle at. A group of researchers are trying to determine why humans have a desire to feed other animals, such as birds and squirrels. But if I had to guess, it's probably because their wife passed away. I don't know why I thought that'd make you laugh.
During a White House ceremony, President Biden wished Kamala Harris a happy birthday, then accidentally called her a great president. Even worse, he was talking to a portrait of Michelle Obama.
Orthodox Jewish leaders in New York City lashed out at a newly imposed coronavirus restriction in their neighborhoods by setting fires and burning masks. And it's a miracle because the masks burned for 8 nights. Come on, dude. That's a good one. Come on. Stop it. Stop it.
Firefighters in Florida rescued a horse that fell into a septic tank and was nearly submerged in raw sewage. A horse submerged in raw sewage is also known as an Arby's beef and cheddar.
Arby's, we eat the horse.
In the wake of the R. Kelly verdict, there's a growing movement online to force music streaming services to remove his music. I mean, after all, streaming is basically what got him in trouble in the first place. A statue of George Floyd on display in a New York City park was defaced for the second time. Police are searching for the suspect and are planning to serve him with a job application.
A woman in Taiwan who thought her boyfriend was cheating cut off his penis and flushed it down the toilet. I'm sorry, thought he was cheating?
South Carolina lawmakers voted to add firing squad to its execution methods. And I think it's nice that people will finally get the chance to be shot after they're found guilty. A woman in Arizona gave birth to a 14-pound baby boy. So now Arizona has 2 Grand Canyons. It's a math joke. I'm surprised you guys didn't get it.
Oh, my God.
A new study shows that the COVID vaccine does not cause infertility in men or women. Damn it, why did I get this?
A professional golfer in Florida was arrested after he tried to meet a 15-year-old girl he met online who turned out to be a detective. Said the golfer, Mulligan?
Come on, man.
Sadly, there's more. For those of you wondering, in golf terms, a 15-year-old is 3 under par.
I'm Tina Fey, and here are tonight's top stories. The Pentagon announced yesterday that U.S. and British planes had struck Iraqi air defense sites south of Baghdad. Defense officials say the president wanted to send a clear message to the Iraqi government that he knows exactly where Iraq is.
And the supposed image of the Virgin Mary in the window of a New Jersey house disappeared Tuesday when the homeowner cleaned the glass, leading many to conclude what they have already feared: there are no virgins in New Jersey.
After experiencing chest pains Monday, Vice President Dick Cheney was rushed to George Washington University Medical Center. When asked how Cheney's angina would affect the administration, President Bush confidently told reporters, "Boys don't have anginas."
Zyban, the prescription medicated designed to help some people quit smoking, is being sued in 3 countries by people claiming that family members who took the drug died suddenly. A spokesperson for the pharmaceutical company said, yes, but are they still smoking?
Pearson Television has canceled Baywatch. Now viewers who love big fake boobs will just have to watch VIP. Jerry Springer, Jenny Jones, Search Party, Extra, MTV Spring Break, MTV's Making the Video, Wild on E, Howard Stern, Silk Stockings, G-String Divas, The Man Show, Unhappily Ever After, Blind Date, Bowflex infomercials, Cleopatra 2525, the XFL, the NFL, Sabado Gigante, Temptation Island, Charmed, Wrestling, Cinemax, Showtime, or commercials.
Michael Jackson arrived in London this week on crutches after breaking his foot in a, quote, common household accident in his Neverland ranch. It could have happened to anyone, Jackson told a reporter. See, my llama and I were chasing Liz Taylor around the Elephant Man's bones, and I tripped on my cape.
An entire school showed up at a George W. Bush rally in Dearborn, Michigan this week to complain to the governor that their building is unsafe and they lack books and teachers. A sympathetic Bush promised that if elected, he'll take care of the students the best way he knows how, by executing them.
A bill to allow pet ferrets in New York City was passed by the city council Wednesday and now must be approved by Mayor Rudy Giuliani, or as he is known in the ferret world, our fearless leader.
Research is being conducted on the world's first contraceptive patch for women. The patch is approximately 3 inches in diameter and reads, "Get off me." According to a report released Tuesday, female inmates in the United States have been victims of sexual misconduct by corrections employees in every state except Minnesota. So, ladies, if you want to rob a bank but you don't want your cooter poked, head to beautiful Minnesota, land of 10,000 lakes.
Newly elected Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon said this week that he couldn't concentrate during a recent meeting with Bush advisor Condoleezza Rice because of, quote, her nice legs, a revelation that has given the Palestinians a great idea.
Hillary Clinton's victory in the New York Senate race this week was greeted with disdain by Senate Majority Leader Trent Lott, who warned that when she gets to the Senate, she'll just be one of 100, to which Hillary responded, "I'm used to being one of 100. I'm married to both."
The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has apologized to audio technicians after Mike Myers made fun of Best Sound and Sound Editing categories at last month's Oscars. Myers explained his actions, stating, baby.
In an interview this month, Matthew McConaughey said that he wants to die the same way his father did, right after having sex. McConaughey's mother has said absolutely not. On a humorous note, in front of 5,000 witnesses this week, a circus performer who was trying to shoot an apple off his wife's head with a crossbow hit her under the eye and pierced her skull. Jimmy?
Duke University researchers have wired the brains of monkeys to control robotic arms in hopes that one day paralyzed humans will be able to control artificial limbs. But so far, all they've done is allowed paralyzed monkeys to have better aim when they throw their own poop.
During an interview this week, Macaulay Culkin said that he is still good friends with Michael Jackson, saying, "I think we understand each other in a way that most people can't understand either of us." He then added, "Basically, we both still wish I was 9.
Stephen King has teamed up with John Mellencamp to write a rock opera that will feature a haunted house and rapping ghosts. According to insiders, it's going to suck.
New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani is once again expressing outrage at an art exhibit, this time at a painting in which Jesus is depicted as a naked woman. Said the mayor, "This trash is not the sort of thing I want to look at when I go to a museum with my mistress."
Researchers have found that bottlenose dolphins can recognize their own reflections in mirrors placed in their tanks. The mirror study is part of the larger effort to identify and weed out vampire dolphins. Scientists believe that the dolphin's ability to use a mirror gives them a distinct advantage over Christina Aguilera.
Secondly, why did they send a fax? And from whence? Do they have a fax machine in the whorehouse? Or did they all trundle down to Kinko's? "You fax this, I'll let you shave me." And thirdly, how come French whores know how to work a fax machine, but every time I try to use it, I hit power save or I forget to dial 9? This just proves what my boyfriend always says, that I am dumber than a French whore.
Earlier this week, doctors in Taiwan were called in to remove a Nokia cell phone from a woman's rectum. But don't you hate those a-holes who are always on the cell phone? Wait, every time the phone rings, she blames it on the dog. Quick review of the new Nokia cell phone. It stinks.
Following the premature release of a controversial Esquire interview, an angry Bill Clinton told reporters, "I was promised faithfully that the interview would be released after the election, and I believed it." Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it, Bill? How some people can look you right in the eye and lie to you like that? Bill? Yeah. I talk a good game, but I'd still make out with him.
Jeb Bush, the governor of Florida and brother of George Bush, took himself out of the Florida recount process, noting, "Look, I already threw out 19,000 ballots, hassled black voters, and confused the old Jews. My work here is done."
Later this month, George W. Bush will make his first European trip as president, visiting Prime Minister Tony Blair in London. Hoping to make a good impression, Bush has spent the last week trying to learn a few English words.
New Scientist magazine reported on Wednesday that in the future, cars could be powered by hazelnuts. That's encouraging, considering an 8-ounce jar of hazelnuts costs about $9. Yeah, I got an idea for a car that runs on bald eagle heads and Fabergé eggs.
Earlier tonight, Michael Douglas married Catherine Zeta-Jones at the Plaza Hotel here in New York. The entertainment at the reception was singer Tom Jones. The couple felt he was the perfect choice because, like the bride, he is Welsh, and like the groom, he is old and creepy. 3 executions in the state of Texas have been rescheduled for next week. Governor Bush said he felt it was best to postpone the executions until after the election is decided so he can really enjoy them.
An Australian man, Rod Milner, announced that next March he plans to skydive from 25 miles above the Earth, reaching speeds over 1,000 miles an hour and breaking the sound barrier. And in future news, Rod Milner is dead.
Kim Jong-nam, the son of North Korea's dictator Kim Jong-il, was detained in Japan after he posed as a Dominican Republic citizen in order to sneak into the country. His brilliant plan to pass himself off as Dominican fell apart when customs officials looked at him.
Researchers are testing a new form of medical marijuana that treats pain but doesn't get the user high, prompting patients who need medical marijuana to declare, "Thank you."
At a high school in South Dakota this week, an undercover police officer roamed the halls with an unloaded gun to test the response. The school passed with flying colors when concerned students spotted the officer and shot him.
Officials say that a number of London's historic buildings are being severely eroded by people urinating on them. Meanwhile, experts have determined that Manhattan was once the size of South America.
The California district attorney who brought child molestation charges against Michael Jackson in 1993 says the case can be reopened at any time. Prosecutors are still confident that they can convict Jackson since the child described his assailant as, quote, a noseless white woman.
China's state media reported this week that a 37-year-old Chinese man had his damaged esophagus replaced with part of his own colon. Earlier today, the man was quoted as saying, "Does this taste funny to you?" Weekend Update, I'm Jimmy Fallon.
I'm Tina Fey. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
The National Brotherhood of Skiers is pushing for greater representation of black people in winter sports, which are predominantly white. Huh, so it seems like someone's a little jealous that we took their precious dunk contest.
China is trying to help end the war in Ukraine and proposed a 12-part plan for peace. The catch is the 12 parts have to be assembled by children.
The U.S. Surgeon General is warning that children are joining social media at too young an age, and they should wait until they're at least 16, when they're hotter. Chipotle has announced plans to hire 15,000 people to prepare for its busiest time of year, which they are calling burrito season. And toilets are calling the apocalypse. The U.S. Department of the Interior has changed the name of Squaw Valley, California, because it is considered a derogatory term for Native American women. Okay, I don't understand how that name gets changed, and yet no one cares there's an entire town in New York that mocks my people. For the first time ever, two brothers will be facing off against each other in the Super Bowl. Incidentally, two brothers in the Super Bowl is why my grandfather won't be watching.
On February, man, wow. Pope Francis criticized laws banning homosexuality as unjust, saying that it's not a crime even though Catholic doctrine views homosexuality as a sin. He also stressed that Catholic doctrine views age as nothing but a number.
Due to a computer error, a school in Massachusetts has been unable to turn off its lights for over a year and a half. The students are doing fine, but the classroom hamster has gone insane. The Dallas Zoo has been dealing with the disappearance of several animals, including a leopard, monkeys, and a vulture. In an unrelated story, check out my amazing coat.
A new study finds that despite women making less money than men, more single women in the U.S. own homes than single men, thanks to a phenomenon economists call divorce.
The Biden classified document scandal and the Trump classified document scandal are very different, but they do share one big thing in common. They both make Hillary Clinton want to blow our goddamn brains out. It would have been so funny if they searched Biden's garage and he had Hillary's server. Senator Rick Scott, seen here learning that Harry Potter has fallen into his trap, announced that he is running for re-election, promising to finish the border wall and name it after Donald Trump, even though most things named after Donald Trump are complete failures. Earlier today, an American fighter jet shot down a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon that had been spotted crossing the United States, officially ending history's most complicated gender reveal party. And bad news for China, it's a girl.
New AI chatbot has created controversy after it allowed users to talk with Jesus and Hitler and one guy who thinks he's both. It's just news, guys. It was reported that last year the population of China declined by 850,000 people, thanks to an increase in China's leading cause of death, protesting. China plans to reverse the population decline with an emergency import of Nick Cannon.
A 23-year-old Chihuahua in Ohio named Spike has been officially named the world's oldest living dog. The secret to Spike's long life? A lot of Chihuahuas look the same.
It was announced that Donald Trump's golf courses will host 3 live golf tournaments this year, furthering Trump's ties to Saudi Arabia. Their relationship makes sense. I mean, Saudi Arabia needs venues for their golf tournaments, and Trump needs oil for that big old dump truck.
Disney World is closing Splash Mountain to turn it into Tiana's Bayou Adventure after complaints that its Song of the South theme was racist. Okay, but where's the outrage about Disney forcing a mentally challenged dwarf to mine blood diamonds? Kevin Spacey, hold for applause, Kevin Spacey made his first public speaking appearance in 5 years where he thanked Italy's National Cinema Museum for having the balls to invite him. He also asked, could I touch the balls? I'm kidding. He didn't ask permission.
A lawyer for Mike Pence says that after they discovered classified documents in his home, Pence stands ready and willing to fully cooperate. Incidentally, I stand ready and willing to fully cooperate is also what Pence says before sex.
A genetic engineering company has announced plans to bring back the long-extinct dodo bird, but only for a limited time at Arby's.
We have the dodo.
Earlier today, the FBI searched President Biden's Delaware home and found 6 additional Obama-era classified documents. Worse, one of them was Obama's real birth certificate. It was hidden in a copy of Blacktail magazine.
Police officials in Colorado say that a bear discovered a wildlife camera in the woods and posed for more than 400 selfies. 400 selfies of a bear is also known as a Grindr profile.
The revised AP African American History class removed the names of several black authors that Florida officials called problematic. Instead, they've been replaced with authors they call one of the good ones.
This could be good for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose. But when you talk to me, give me the impression that I won't scratch your surface.
Tennis star Andy Murray was upset after an umpire at the Australian Open refused to let him take a bathroom break during a 5-set long match. Worse, it was deuce.
Researchers in Antarctica have discovered a 17-pound meteorite. Sadly, it was on top of the last polar bear. Donald Trump responded to reports that Ron DeSantis will run against him for the Republican nomination, saying, "We'll handle this the way I handle things." So rough and without consent.
Google announced that it is cutting 12,000 jobs, while Yahoo announced that it is now run by a family of raccoons.
AMC Theaters is celebrating Black History Month by offering $5 tickets to recently released black-led movies like Wakanda Forever and The Woman King. They're also honoring black people by starting the movie 20 minutes late. Did you get that, Colin?
I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. A school official in Illinois has been arrested on charges of stealing over $1 million worth of chicken wings. Said the official, "I swear, I was going to give all the money back."
No, don't. San Francisco panel studying reparations is proposing giving every black resident a one-time payment of $5 million. Well, that's a fantastic idea, said the Gucci store.
A mattress review site is paying people to test the theory that eating cheese before bed will give a person nightmares. But if you're in bed eating cheese till you pass out, your life is already a nightmare.
A Catholic nun in France, who was believed to be the oldest person in the world, has died at the age of 118. Her cause of death was listed as answered prayer.
It was also reported that George Santos lied to potential campaign donors that he was a producer of the Broadway musical Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, though he did end up working with the Green Goblin.
A drag queen who claims she performed with George Santos said that George did not have the glamour to be a professional. But she said another drag queen in Congress is absolutely slaying as the character Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Florida has proposed legislation that would allow residents to carry firearms without a permit. Also, everyone gets to do one murder. Kevin Spacey, hold for applause, Kevin Spacey made his first public speaking appearance in 5 years where he thanked Italy's National Cinema Museum for having the balls to invite him. He also asked, could I touch the balls? I'm kidding. He didn't ask permission. Some owners of McDonald's franchises are reportedly concerned about a campaign partnership with Cardi B, especially the ad where they claim their burgers have a wet-ass patty. Oh. The National Brotherhood of Skiers is pushing for greater representation of black people in winter sports, which are predominantly white. Huh, so it seems like someone's a little jealous that we took their precious dunk contest. During a White House ceremony, President Biden wished Kamala Harris a happy birthday, then accidentally called her a great president. Even worse, he was talking to a portrait of Michelle Obama. Tennis star Andy Murray was upset after an umpire at the Australian Open refused to let him take a bathroom break during a 5-set long match. Worse, it was deuce. It was reported that the James Bond books are being rewritten to remove offensive material. So the character Pussy Galore will now be called Cooter Aplenty. The U.S. Surgeon General is warning that children are joining social media at too young an age, and they should wait until they're at least 16, when they're hotter. Elon Musk took over Twitter. Use of the N-word on the site has reportedly jumped 500%. It's the biggest increase in the use of the N-word since the last time I stubbed my toe. As this year's award season gets underway, there's growing movement to get rid of the gendered categories of Best Actor and Best Actress and instead call them Best Actor and Best Actor who got paid less. Chipotle has announced plans to hire 15,000 people to prepare for its busiest time of year, which they are calling burrito season. And toilets are calling the apocalypse. The U.S. Department of the Interior has changed the name of Squaw Valley, California, because it is considered a derogatory term for Native American women. Okay, I don't understand how that name gets changed, and yet no one cares there's an entire town in New York that mocks my people. Biologists in Florida are warning that the Jesus Christ lizard, named for its ability to run on water, could spread harmful diseases to humans. They hope to control the population by introducing a Pontius Pilate lizard.
That's sweet.
The Biden classified document scandal and the Trump classified document scandal are very different, but they do share one big thing in common. They both make Hillary Clinton want to blow our goddamn brains out. It would have would have been so funny if they searched Biden's garage and he had Hillary's server. For the first time ever, two brothers will be facing off against each other in the Super Bowl. Incidentally, two brothers in the Super Bowl is why my grandfather won't be watching.
On February, man, wow.
A school official in Illinois has been arrested on charges of stealing over $1 million worth of chicken wings. Said the official, "I swear, I was going to give all the money back."
No, don't.
Earlier today, an American fighter jet shot down a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon that had been spotted crossing the United States, officially ending history's most complicated gender reveal party. And bad news for China, it's a girl. Due to a computer error, a school in Massachusetts has been unable to turn off its lights for over a year and a half. The students are doing fine, but the classroom hamster has gone insane. Disney World is closing Splash Mountain to turn it into Tiana's Bayou Adventure after complaints that its Song of the South theme was racist. Okay, but where's the outrage about Disney forcing a mentally challenged dwarf to mine blood diamonds? Senator Rick Scott, seen here learning that Harry Potter has fallen into his trap, announced that he is running for re-election, promising to finish the border wall and name it after Donald Trump, even though most things named after Donald Trump are complete failures. Police officials in Colorado say that a bear discovered a wildlife camera in the woods and posed for more than 400 selfies. 400 selfies of a bear is also known as a Grindr profile. Google announced that it is cutting 12,000 jobs, while Yahoo announced that it is now run by a family of raccoons. Florida has proposed legislation that would allow residents to carry firearms without a permit. Also, everyone gets to do one murder. It was also reported that George Santos lied to potential campaign donors that he was a producer of the Broadway musical Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, though he did end up working with the Green Goblin. Some parents in Oregon are having large groups of their children ride their bikes to school at the same time in a formation they're calling a bike bus, and pedophiles are calling a buffet. An Arizona woman was arrested after she allegedly went day drinking while her 5-month-old child was sitting home alone, like a loser. Researchers say the number of gray whales off western North America has continued to decline for several years. It's a sad fact that makes me wonder if whale oil is really the best way to give my hair this amazing volume. British officials have unveiled King Charles III's new royal monogram. The C stands for Charles, the R is for Rex, and the 3 is for how many hundreds of yards Prince Andrew has to stay away from schools. The house where Lizzie Borden murdered her parents has been sold for $2 million and will be turned into a bed and breakfast. Though a bed and breakfast where a murder happened is pretty much just a day's in. The White House has introduced a new plan to put nutrition labels on the front instead of the back. So to give you an idea of the overall health of Americans, we're too lazy to do this.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
A woman in Taiwan who thought her boyfriend was cheating cut off his penis and flushed it down the toilet. I'm sorry, thought he was cheating? A professional golfer in Florida was arrested after he tried to meet a 15-year-old girl he met online who turned out to be a detective. Said the golfer, "Mulligan?"
Come on, man.
Sadly, there's more. For those of you wondering, in golf terms, a 15-year-old is 3 under par. A A new study says that the combined mass of every ant on Earth is greater than the mass of every mammal and bird combined, thanks mostly to this juicy bitch. Researchers have discovered a piece of 20-million-year-old petrified wood on the Greek island of Lesbos. They knew it was from Lesbos because it's double-ended.
Oh, man.
Border officials have discovered $400,000 worth of meth hidden inside pumpkins. They could tell the pumpkins were full of meth because they only had like 3 teeth left. A British lawmaker resigned after admitting that he watched porn on his phone in the chambers of Parliament, which seems pretty tame considering our Congress allows full penetration.
Apple announced that after 20 years, it will stop production of its iPod Touch because Apple products become obsolete once they're older than the kids who make them.
Colleagues knew he was watching porn when a vote passed by a count of 650 yays to 1 oh my god yay.
Oh, Colin.
The makers of Barbie have introduced the first ever Barbie with hearing aids. It teaches an important lesson. It doesn't matter if you're deaf as long as that body banging.
Kevin Spacey.
Taylor Swift gave a commencement address at NYU's graduation ceremony this week because college is a lot like breaking up with Taylor Swift. You're still going to be paying for it decades later.
Queen Elizabeth made a surprise public appearance this week at the opening of a new train line in London after Prince Charles tied her to the tracks. It's not real.
There are a growing number of nuns who are joining TikTok to show what life in a convent is really like. Because when the Catholic Church tries to connect with young people, it always goes well.
A California hiker who was attacked by a mountain lion said that her dog saved her life by jumping to her defense because after the dog, the mountain lion was way too full to eat anything else. It's not real.
New York City has launched a new campaign to stop speeding in the city with a series of signs designed to scare drivers. The terrifying signs read simply, "Entering New Jersey." A school district in Florida is investigating a picture posted online of students spelling out the N-word. It's a shocking instance of Florida students being able to spell.
A painting by Pablo Picasso portraying his lover as a sea creature was sold at auction for $67 million. It's a beautiful abstract expression of his love and admiration that he named Titty Squid.
A British woman discovered when she got pregnant that she had a second tiny vagina. Yeah, da butt.
A 220-carat diamond known as the Rock will become the largest white diamond ever auctioned off. Wow, 220 carats. I mean, can you imagine the size of the child who mined that? It's huge, man.
Happy Mother's Day. Senator Mitch McConnell, seen here watching a shelter dog get passed up for adoption, led a congressional delegation for a surprise visit to Ukraine today. It's weird because usually when McConnell shows up by surprise, it's behind you in the bathroom mirror.
It was announced that a new disco-themed roller skating rink will open this summer in Central Park. Another classic 70s trend returning to the park this summer, stabbings.
Well, at last year's finale, it seemed like COVID was fading, and I said we were about to have the horniest summer ever. And now, summer's hottest STD is monkeypox. The future is looking pretty bleak. I mean, you'd have to be crazy to bring a child into the world right now. I mean, I just did, but don't worry, I've been hoarding baby formula.
Paramount Plus announced they are making a new Yellowstone prequel series that will star Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. The 79-year-old Ford will play a wealthy ranch owner, while the 76-year-old Mirren will play his grandmother.
A woman at a bachelorette party in Scotland was attacked while wearing an inflatable penis costume. The woman says she's still throbbing and her head feels like it's ready to explode.
You know, as a man, there's no way I can understand the full impact of this issue, but I asked a bunch of women around the office what their personal experience was with abortion, and I got to admit, I learned a lot from the HR meeting they made me go to as a result.
There are also unconfirmed reports that Vladimir Putin will undergo cancer surgery. Wow, I never thought I'd say this, but hey, good luck, cancer.
Former President Trump announced that he is writing a book about alleged voter fraud in the presidential election. The book will contain 8,000 commas and no periods. A new report shows that about 6 million Americans now identify as Afro-Latino. Afro-Latino is also what Spirit Halloween calls their unlicensed Bruno Mars costumes.
It's taking over me. Oh, what you do to me. Even across the room, I can feel your energy. So what's it gonna be? Think I got what you need. Don't gotta talk about it when we got this chemistry.
A woman on Long Island discovered a diamond ring inside of a glove while trying it on in a department store. And because it was Long Island, it was still attached to a finger.
Virgin Atlantic Airlines announced that it will no longer require female flight attendants to wear makeup and skirts, just as long as their husbands sign the consent form.
A new survey lists the best city to live in the country as Boise, Idaho, while the worst city was once again Rat Orgy, Delaware.
Charmin has introduced a new toilet paper called the Forever Roll, which can last someone up to 1 month. We'll see about that, said Chipotle.
For the entire month of May, Applebee's is serving a margarita for $1 called the Dollarita, after which you're guaranteed to come down with a case of Dollaria.
New Yorker reporter Jeffrey Toobin has been suspended after getting caught masturbating on a Zoom call. And he's from the New Yorker, so you know that jerk was dry as hell.
Oh my God.
In Times Square returned a lost wallet filled with $4,000 cash to its rightful owner. When told how much money was in the returned wallet, the man replied, Last week, HBO aired Leaving Neverland, a documentary detailing multiple child molestation charges against Michael Jackson. And they say this doc has done more damage to Michael Jackson than his last doc, Dr. Conrad Murray.
Krispy Kreme is marking the landing of the rover on Mars by offering a limited edition donut modeled after Mars. It's different from their usual donut, which is modeled after Uranus. Many conservatives in Texas are falsely blaming the state's power outages on renewable energy sources, while other conservatives think that the power outages are more likely the result of gay marriage.
A nail salon in Queens called Isis Nails has finally changed its name after suffering harassment from locals who thought the store was connected to the terrorist group. Though I don't know how much better things will be with their new name, Nail-Qaeda.
I'm worried about this one now. An auction of Nazi memorabilia was held, which featured items such as Hitler's top hat and Eva Braun's dress. And it's tough to auction off Nazi memorabilia because everyone always looks like they're bidding. Thank you. Some applause.
I liked it. Harvey Weinstein has reportedly beaten the coronavirus, but there's still a chance he could be contagious. At least that's what he's yelling to anyone who gets near him in the showers. A 2-year-old in South Carolina found a revolver in the car and ended up shooting his grandmother in the back like a coward. Which, by the way, this would have never happened if the grandmother also had a gun.